Well, Jim, as we continue on here with the show, we have more AEW stuff to talk about. A lot of people have been sending this in. I have an article here from 411 Mania. When you just need information right away and you're just manic about it. An article from Joseph Lee. Conflicting reports on Bryan Danielson issuing fines for social media posts. Bryan Danielson confirmed this week that he was on the AEW disciplinary committee that was responsible for CM Punk's firing from the company. However, he stressed that he was one of 3 people and didn't make the decision alone. In a report on Fightful's The Hump podcast, Sean Ross Sapp noted...
Is he the hump?
Will you stop it? Sean Ross Sapp noted that Danielson is still working in that position, which includes handing out fines for egregious social media posts. Sapp noted that at least 2 people that he knew of were fined for what they posted, but it was unclear what was posted or who was fined. Most large companies like AEW or WWE have social media policies that employees have to follow, but one company has policies that have been ignored for a long time. However, in the latest Wrestling Observer...
Now was that a quote directly from Sap Hump there, or was that your editorial comment?
That was Hump last with that comment right there.
Well, it's better to hump last than hump first, I guess.
However, in the latest Wrestling Observer Radio, Brian Alvarez noted that people he asked about the situation hadn't heard of Danielson fining anyone. Likewise, Dave Meltzer called the reports overblown. He noted that while Danielson is on the committee, he is not the person giving out the fines. The committee also includes AEW General Counsel Chris Peck and an unnamed attorney. So what do you think, Jim? You always talked about Bill Watts and his fines. Bill Watts was the boss. What do you think about the idea that, there's so much here. The idea that wrestlers are being fined for social media posts that have not always been productive for the company or for the wrestler. The fines are being issued or said to the wrestler, related to the wrestler through Bryan Danielson.
Well, hold on here. And I have no problem with the concept or the theory of if somebody just blurts out to somebody they don't like, independent of storyline or what their television persona is supposed to think, well, this fucking guy's mother needs to be fucked, or just whatever, then yes, you should fine them if they do something stupid or reveal something or say something that makes the company look ridiculous. Of course, if you include that one in there, Tony would be broke by now. But so I'm in favor of that. And if they're doing that, fine. Maybe, I don't know, the next thing might be stopping the wrestlers from actually punching the shit out of each other in the back. But no, I do not believe, unless they are completely all bereft of their senses, and even Bryan Danielson's gone off his rocker, that Bryan Danielson is specifically the guy calling up fucking Sammy Guevara saying, well, you're putting your foot in your mouth again there, pal. I'm fining you. He's not doing that, because even if Tony said, well, Bryan, you take charge of this, then Bryan would have said, Tony, I'll be glad to give you my input and opinion, and you make a decision, or your fucking lawyer of the week, whoever it is now that Megan's been banished, make the decision. I'll give you input, but I'm not calling these fuckers on the phone or whatever and telling them they're fined. I got to live with them in the locker room. I'm still one of the boys. I have to work with these guys. Don't put me in that position. I can't imagine that he would not have said that. But I honestly don't know why it's been revealed that there's an official disciplinary committee. This stuff would never have been said to even the boys wouldn't know in a previous generation, even if it was true, and now we're all talking about it. If Bill Watts asked Jack Curtis or Bill Dundee or whoever his booker was, or if goddamn Eddie Graham said to Kevin Sullivan or Don Curtis or whoever was in the office with him, old coach John Heath, well, this fucking idiot so-and-so has done something stupid. What should I do about it? those would have been closed room discussions, and you would have never known John Heath's opinion or fucking Don Curtis's opinion or Kevin Sullivan, because Eddie Graham would have been the one to tell the fucking guy. So this whole thing's crazy to begin with, but I can't believe they'd be insane enough to put Bryan in a position where he's fining the boys directly to their faces.
I will say AEW should have put their foot down a long time ago about social media. Even if you want to give people the room to do what they want, the amount of times wrestlers have knocked other wrestlers or knocked the company or actually gone back and forth with each other on there is astounding from AEW.
Yes, for a shoot. Now, I can understand, me and some random person somewhere in the wrestling business in another company, because I don't have a company and I don't want one, sniping at each other if they say something stupid and I happen to see it. But if you're working for the same company, then if Tony Khan hears from anybody, hey, get so-and-so's ass off Twitter because they're fucking digging at me and it's going to cause a problem and we're going to have a fucking issue. Then you call so-and-so, what's your fucking deal? Well, do it face-to-face, call him on the phone, or send him an email. Stay off fucking Twitter and Instagram and whatever else the kids use these days to talk to each other because they don't want to talk in person. That's the end of it. Or if they do it again, say, I'm taking your fucking Twitter away, goddamn idiot, or I'll take your job away. Settle it privately. You're in the same company. Unless we book you to fucking be mad at each other. And then have at it. As long as both sides are working, that's fine. If a wrestler in the same company as another wrestler is using Twitter to piss that guy off, and it's not part of the program you're selling tickets to, shut it down. Tell them, get along or get it on, one or the other. Do it in the back.
And what are your thoughts on Danielson being the Blackjack Mulligan to Tony Khan's George Scott?
Well, again, it's ridiculous. Yes, everybody respects Bryan, but you don't want to put him in a position, well, I'm the point person for the 3-man committee that decided we need to fine you because you were a stupid idiot on Twitter. What the fuck? Can Tony not take any responsibility for anything?
And then who would fine Bryan if he did something?
Apparently, I guess he'd have to fine himself. I did that one time.
You fined yourself?
Yes, I was late to a goddamn OVW show. So I fined myself $50.